Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Horse Guy Mike podcast. Today, we're covering the Belmont Stakes 2023 Late Pick 5 live from Naira. We're excited to cover it today. Joining me, got my good friend Andrew Herka, Mr. White Wine Weather. How are you doing tonight?
Doing good, Mike. How are you doing?
Doing great. You were excited to talk about this sequence, so we made it happen. We're bringing this to the fans a little bit late. Hopefully, you all can see it before the main event. But yeah, we'll go ahead and dive right in. We don't have our usual co-host joining us, Johnny the Wire. A little busy. He's been down heavy lately. Not really feeling the sport, so we're gonna carry this without him.
Yeah, I think he needs to sit back, listen to some experts talk about it, and maybe get a different perspective. Sometimes sitting out's not the worst thing,
Yeah,
take a day off like a baseball player.
yeah, exactly. Speaking of experts, congratulations. You had Mage as one of your top two picks for the Kentucky Derby. We haven't really talked to you since then.
No, I was on the Preakness one, Mike.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, we're gonna keep that rolling.
Keep it rolling. I also threw out a little National Treasure on the Preakness
You did.
podcast too. So
So
we're thinking maybe my number 2 horse this race will be the winner.
that's right. Whoever you like, but not enough to put on top. That's who's gonna win this race.
And Mike, you're a movie guy, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I watched The Matrix a couple weeks ago, probably 3 weeks ago, Derby week, and Neo.
I'm familiar with Neo, yeah.
Yeah, people think he's the one. Everyone's like, Neo, you're the ones. People think, am I the one for horse racing? I don't know. The last two big races, Derby, Preakness. I think I had the horses. I just was getting swayed with other opinions. This Belmont, I am ready to go all in. I'm seeing the sheets. I look at the sheets. I'm just reading the Matrix, baby. I'm reading the Matrix. I got the picks, Mike.
I love it. No John here to muddy our waters.
Yeah.
We're gonna go straight handicapping. We're gonna dive right in. We're gonna start this pick 5 sequence. Kick it off starting with race number 8. That's the Woody Stevens 7 furlongs for 3-year-olds on the dirt. We had a big scratch here. News came out earlier today. Fort Bragg, the number 8 horse, scratched. I know both you and I liked him.
Yeah.
So with Fort Bragg out, how did you land on this race? Are you going with the favorite General Jim after his big performance in the Pat Day Mile, or are you kind of leaning on Arabian Lion after his performance at Pimlico on the Preakness undercard?
Yeah, I tend to find myself in shorter races, 7 furlongs, go with a little speed up front. So I'm leaning Arabian Lion, but General Jim, great Pat Day Mile that he had, beat Fort Bragg. I was leaning heavy on Fort Bragg, getting that Bob Baffert juice this race. And General Jim beat Fort Bragg, but yeah, you could talk me into Arabian Lion. So I'm leaning Arabian Lion, but would love to hear what you think this race, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, I originally had it as a 3-horse race. Fort Bragg and General Jim, they were pretty much neck and neck for that Pat Day Mile, which I thought was a really good key race. And then Arabian Lion had an amazing performance on the Pimlico undercard. He ran a race that was better than the Preakness. And I should have known that day, Bob Baffert put that horse in that race instead of putting him in the Preakness. How good was National Treasure then? So, I still think Arabian Lion's probably better than National Treasure. He's he's by Justify. So he's got the pedigree for a Belmont type race. So I think he'll do better going longer in the future. He's cutting back here. We'll see. General Jim and Arabian Lion are the two obvious choices here. I do want to bring up a third horse after I dive a little bit deeper after Fort Bragg was cut. That's number 13 horse. You'll like this. Drew's Gold.
Drew's Gold, baby.
Yeah, you knew it.
We love the gold.
This horse got a 98 buyer last out in a listed stakes race here at Belmont, going 6 furlongs. Went pretty fast up front. I mean, he's got good speed coming off of a 4.5.
Pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good. Lengths
yeah, 4 for 4 lifetime bullet workouts. I mean,
yeah. So if you want to play against one of those two heavy favorites, I think Drew's Gold is the place is kind of the one to choose. So if you do want to go 3 deep, go Drew's Gold. If you only want to go too deep, I'd say General Jim and Arabian Lion are the two obvious choices here. Anything else to add?
Yeah, the only downside to Drew's Gold, the trainer and the jockey, I have no idea who these guys are. Like, who are they? Jose Gomez and James Chapman. I don't know these guys, so that's a question mark that I have.
They're
Uh,
yeah, they're local New York guys, yeah.
New Yorkers. Arabian Lions looking pretty strong to me. Not the greatest workouts lately. 49 in June. Had a better one a month ago. Yeah, Arabian Lion. Yeah, Juice Gold is the old curveball in there, kind of like a King's Barn. Moving up in class. We'll see if it can run with the big boys.
Yeah, I mean, there's one other wild card in this race, and that's the one horse New York Thunder. 3 for 3 lifetime, coming off a huge win at Woodbine on the synthetic. Horse won by 7.5 lengths, had a 97 buyer in that race. So it's synthetic. It was at Woodbine. It was his first race of the year. There's a chance that this horse, raced at Gulfstream last year, had a long layoff, went to Woodbine, first race of the year, huge race. Could set up, wouldn't be surprised if they won. But I'm going to play against it. I'm just going to go too deep. I'm going to go General Jim and Arabian Lion and kind of move on from there. All right.
For pick 5, I might do a little 3 deep with Drew's Gold, and a little foreshadowing. I have a little singles coming up.
All right. So let's move on to race number 9, the Jaipur Stakes. Grade 1 going 6 furlongs on the turf. Favoritism on Caravel. Big favorite horse of mine. Love that horse. Had that horse in the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint last year. Had her at Keeneland, had her at Churchill. Absolutely love this horse. Sad that she's not at Royal Ascot instead. But what are your thoughts? Is she a lock here? Or are you going to try to beat her?
This was a tough race to me. A lot of strong horses. Caravel's really good. I don't think I bet Caravel at Churchill last month, and that's on me. That's on me. But you got Gaff on turf. I get caught up in these speed figs, and Caravel doesn't look super fast, but it just wins and wins and wins again. So I think I think we were talking earlier this week. Is it Caravel, or is it just you pick up multiple horses this race? So I'm thinking I'm going to be singling Caravel and just go for it. Just go for it. You got to have those stones at some point and just go for it.
All right. I mean, I like Caravel. The fact that she's not going to Ascot and she's coming here was a little bit concerning. Like, is she not in prime form? If she was good enough to go to Ascot, she'd be there. So if she's not training as well, maybe Brad Cox is looking for an easier spot here instead. So that was a little bit of hesitation for me. And like you said, like, her speed figures aren't significantly better than the field here. So I feel like for a pick 5 ticket, because I'm singling later and going pretty skinny in the first leg, this is
go a little deeper.
Yeah, this is the leg where I'm going to go deeper, and it's going to be pretty chalky with the ones I go deep with. I do have one long shot I like, so I'll go with Caravel. I'll go to the one directly inside, Casa Creed, who is an amazing closer. Has won this race. I think the last
year, right?
Yeah,
last 2 years.
Last 2 years. It won it last year. Won it the year before. So can Casa Creed go for the 3-peat? We'll see. Should get a pace set up. So I like Casa Creed, and then immediately inside of Casa Creed, Big Invasion, who had a good year last year as a 3-year-old, came back off the layoff in that Churchill Downs race. Didn't really run that well, but you can see, like, second off layoff as a 4-year-old is a good angle to look at. So Casa Creed, Big Invasion, Caravel, I think are the obvious ones to pick. And then I'm going to go for a long shot. I kind of like Go Bears Go, the number 2 spot. Again, second off layoff in the form cycle, coming off of that Churchill Downs race where they got third behind No Balls and Motorious. So
Any
Any-
interest in Arrest Me Red?
No.
Got second in this race last year to Casa Creed, but kind of tailing off form lately.
Yeah, I feel like Arrest Me Red just hasn't Doesn't have as many excuses as a lot of the other horses that I've been looking at. Like this horse is 5. It's not, going from 3 to 4 and going second off layoff. This horse has had his kind of opportunities to grow. Um, we've seen who he is. He just doesn't like to win. He hasn't won since May of last year. He's a good horse. He's going to hit the board. He's going to make his owners money, but he's not going to make me money as a bettor.
Yeah, I'm looking at. I recognize there's a 15 horse Coppola. Um, Pretty sure I did not bet him for the Churchill. Then I bet him from Himmelco, and he lost me money. So that horse is off my ticket. He will never be on my ticket, and I hate Coppola.
We had Beer Can Man that race though at Pimlico. It was our boy.
Yeah, okay, but yeah, I don't like Coppola.
All right. So it sounds like you're singling Caravel. I'm going 4 deep. Caravel, Casa Creed, Big Invasion, and Go Bears Go. All right.
We maybe a little pick 5, a joint pick 5 later with your picks there. I like that.
I like that as well. We seem to be on the same horses. There's no horses we really hate
I
against each
think
other so far.
little spoiler, we might be on the same horse this next race.
Oh, I think a lot of people are going to be on the same horse this next race. So moving on to race number 10, the Met Mile. I'm going a mile in the dirt. Heavy favoritism on the number 1, Cody's Wish. The greatest horse in training, best horse in the country. Everyone's favorite story. You're singling Cody's Wish because I'm 100% singling Cody's Wish, and I think this will be probably his toughest race, but I think he's better than all these horses.
I agree. The only way I would not bet on Cody's Wish is I'm hammered and I bet on a horse, Slow Down Andy, because Andrew's in his name, but that's about it. But other than that, yeah, Cody's Wish, definite single.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, some of these other horses, Dr. Scheibel, last race had 3 horses in it. It was a big number, but it was a 3-horse paid workout. Has not really a big fan of has never gone the mile distance. So not a big fan of Dr. Scheibel. I mean, Hoist the Gold lost to Cody's Wish last time pretty significantly. Charge It, who we thought was going to be the big owner of this division, has kind of just been a bum this year. Zandon was kind of pathetic off layoff.
Lost the Repo Rocks.
Yeah, lost to Repo Rocks. Repo Rocks is the only one I'd even be concerned about in this race. Jamie Ness, kind of wired up horse, however way you want to take that. Repo Rocks could do it, just get on towards the lead and be closer than Cody's Wish, who's going to come from the back. But I'd rather bet with my heart than bet on someone that I don't trust completely.
Any chance White Barrio and Gaff Leon steal our money?
I think there is a chance. White Barrio is good. And he's got a new trainer now, trained by Richard Dutro, who, maybe coming off of Safi's, program, he regresses significantly, or maybe he takes a jump up with a new trainer in a new state. You never know, but that's not an angle that I want to play in going to a tough race like this.
I agree.
Yep. So we're both on the same page there, singling Cody's Wish in the Met Mile.
Absolutely.
All right. Coming up, race 11. I feel like we might have another potential single here, but let's talk about this. Race number 11, the Resorts World Casino Manhattan, going 1.25 miles on the inner turf for 4-year-olds and up. I think there's 3 really good options here. You're a big fan of Up to the Mark. What are your thoughts on Up to the Mark?
Yeah, so I had a call with my 2 good friends a couple weeks ago, Jerry Bailey and Randy Moss. I don't know if you know them, pretty big in the industry. And we were talking about Up the Mark and how good this horse is. Smoked the competition last time at Churchill. I don't even think the jockey used the whip or whatever, just like threw it away once the race started. Won by 3 1/4 lengths. I think it's only lost to Modern Games and Chepier, and that horse is on a roll. It's stretching out in distance this race and playing a little Chuck Appleby horses, which you probably talk more about these European horses that I'm not too familiar with, but I don't need to be familiar with them because Up the Mark, I think, is going to be one of these great turf horses that we'll know about for years and years, and it's just hitting its stride now. last month was the first time it really, got its feet wet. It's what won its first G1 in the Turf Classic easily. These European horses are coming to America. So up the mark, I think it's yeah. No, I don't think it's a single for me. Up the mark.
Oh, okay, okay. You're that
Single.
single. All right. I agree. I mean, Up to the Mark is an excellent horse. If the two Charles Appleby horses weren't here, it'd be an easy single. I do want to play both the Charles Appleby horses just because he does this. Like he comes in to New York, runs like one or two turf horses in, and then he goes home and he wins. He just wins all the time when he does this. He won today, like that 2 mile race. That was a Charles Appleby horse. So he points his horses really well. The one Ottoman Fleet came over here, won here at Belmont, going a 1.125 miles on this track, got a 102 buyer. So there's no slouch, higher speed form, bigger than Up to the Mark. And then you got the other horse, Warren Point, who was facing better competition in Europe and around the world, but had a pretty bad ride when he came over here in the Man of War at Belmont, where he lost to Red Knight and Soldier Rising. So do we give Warren Point a second chance? Like, okay, second race in North America, maybe this is his opportunity. Maybe that was just a really bad ride by the jockey. Who knows? Those are the only three that I would play in this race at all. And depending on how the early card goes, do you want a front runner? Do you want a late runner? Because Warren Point's a late runner, Up to the Mark's a late runner, Ottoman Fleet's a late runner. So they're all going to be late running styles. And we saw watching Friday's card, it kind of looked like front runners were doing really well on the turf for those shorter races, besides the 2 mile. So we'll see which one of them do we think would be closer to the pace. I don't know. But Up to the Mark is push button. He hits that stretch. I think he can outkick any of them. So if they're all even as they hit that pole coming home, he'll win. It's just a question on if he can even out with them. But I agree. I think those are the three horses we go with.
It's going to be an exciting race, and these turf races at the end, one of these horses is just going to hit the turbo jets and hit the finish line, hit the mark first. Up to them. Who's up to the mark?
Mm-hmm. I like that. All right, so you're singling Up to the Mark. I'm including the two Charles Appleby horses, Warren Point and what was it? Not Ottoman Empire. Ottoman Fleet.
Ottoman Fleet. That's a good name for a horse. That's a strong name.
Yeah, it's good.
Warlike name.
All right, moving on to the big race number 12, the Belmont Stakes, going 1.5 miles on the dirt for 3-year-olds, third leg of the Triple Crown. We're finally seeing our boy Forte in a Triple Crown race. Andrew, are you going with Forte this race?
I have mad love for Forte. Florida Derby till I die. I like Forte going into the Derby. Unfortunately, it's scratched. But was Forte my favorite going into the Derby? It was not. I am on a different horse this race. Honestly, I think this horse should be 90% of a single. And it's not one of these tapping horses. Tap, 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 tap. Tap, you could sit the bench. I am all in on Angel of Empire. And watching the tape of the Kentucky Derby completely validates this pick. I don't know why this horse is not the favorite, first of all. Yeah, I think this horse is going to win probably by 2 lengths. You could say 2.25 lengths. I'm all in on Angel of Empire. I love this horse for this race. And I think when we handicap the Derby, I think all three of us said Angel of Empire is going to do well in the Belmont because it likes that extra distance. And when you watch the Derby, it was behind a little traffic inside, went outside and closed very strong. If you extend the Derby, I don't know, 20 more feet, it probably wins that race. So we're extending it another 1/4 mile. Oh, Angel of Empire, easy pick, Mike. Yes, Angel of Empire.
All right. I like the pick. I like Angel of Empire. Like you said, coming into the Derby, in the Derby specifically, I don't like closers, but I think Tapit Trice, Angel of Empire, and Forte are all really good closers. And they all, Tapit Trice did okay. Angel of Empire did really good, and Forte obviously didn't run. So now seeing all three of them here, being able to run in like a smaller field and have more of a head-to-head competition, I'm excited to see how they perform. I'm going with Forte as my top choice. And the reason I'm doing that is because I think he'll be closer to the pace. I think he'll be more mid-pack. Angel of Empire and Tapit Trice tend to be further back. Like they tend to be those pure S types who come from way behind, make one big sweeping move. Whereas Forte, I think, has more tactical speed. He can be up close. He can sit, third or fourth if need be, and be ready to pounce on the turn. And so he'd get first run at the leaders, National Treasure and El Maricolo and Tapit Shoes. So I think Forte is going to be in a better position to get ahead of them early. So that's why I'm going with Forte. I don't hate the Angel of Empire pick. I think he's worth playing. And then Tapit Trice is the other closer. I think one of those three favorites will win. They're the three best closers. I think National Treasure's a bum. I think El Maricolo and Tapit Shoes are just in here to collect maybe third or fourth place checks if they can hang on at the lead or to be rabbits. Arcangelo is okay, but coming off of a maiden and then the Peter Pan and then this race, I don't think it has enough experience. And then Hit Show is okay. It's just Hit Show is just not like an exciting or sexy pick. So I'm going with Forte. I landed on it. Nothing I can say argues against it, except that he had that slight injury, but I think he's in good form. And if the vets and Todd say he's clear to go, then I'm ready to ride him.
I like Forte. Forte, I will say, is my second pick. And these last two big races, my second pick has won the race. So I do like that pick, Mike. I just don't understand why Angel of Empire is not the favorite in this race. It's got the best speed figures, or damn near the same speed figures. Raced in G1s. Closed really well at the Derby. I just can't find a reason not to pick this horse and put all my money in this horse.
I think the assumption too is like Mage won the Derby and Mage beat Angel of Empire and Forte beat Mage twice, like 2 times straight up.
Yeah, that's the only reason. Well, Mage was gassed up for the Derby. Everyone knew that. Everyone that watched the race would know that Mage was going to win the Derby, which I did. No, Forte's really good. Don't get me wrong, Forte's good. I think Angel of Empire is maybe a little better and has a little more juice to it. But I guess we don't know because we haven't seen Forte run in a while.
Yeah, that's the big question coming off of like 2.5 months layoff. But it's not like he was at the farm, grazing. He's been in training this entire time. Like he trained up to the Derby. He was posting good workouts up to Derby week. And then he's been training since then, just like everyone else. So it's not a real layoff. Just because he didn't have that race, he was in form. So I don't really consider it a layoff. And if the vets all say he's good, then he's good.
Yeah, and we might get a little better price on Forte with this little injury that he has, but still a really good horse. And I'll probably do I'll definitely do an exacta with Forte and Angel of Empire. Yeah, and I'll probably have Forte in some pick fives.
Yeah, in the joint pick 5, we'll go Angel of Empire, Forte, and then we'll see what we can do in the other ones.
We're doing a joint pick 5 for sure without Johnny the Wire.
Oh yeah, he's out.
It's good vibes right now, Mike. We're gonna make so much money.
This was a crisp podcast. This was
crisp. We didn't have John talking 20 minutes on the 6 horse that no one knows about. That's 35-1.
I love it. All right. So that's our picks for the pick 5. Do you have anything else to add before we close it out?
No, I'm gonna be singling some horses. Cody's Wish up to the mark. We should have a great Belmont with some of these Derby horses that we saw, and National Treasure come in. Old Bobby Baffert will be there. It should be a good day.
Yeah, I'm excited. So yeah, we'll definitely check it out. We'll work on our joint ticket together. And for everyone watching, best of luck today. Follow along on Twitter at HorseGuyMike. Be posting pics and posting things all day for this loaded card we had at Belmont. We had good races today, some graded stakes. We got a lot of graded stakes tomorrow. It's one of the best days of racing a year. Good luck to everyone. Take care. May the juleps be with you.